At the wedding, my sister-in-law grabbed the mic and humiliated me in front of everyone. She said I was her brother-in-law, yet I only gave 100 grand. She called me the cheapest man alive. Without saying a word, I stood up and walked toward the stage. The MC thought I was coming up to give my blessing and handed me the mic with a smile. I raised the mic and addressed the entire room. I'm not just cheap, I'm heartless too. I'm having the hotel cancel this entire reception right now. Those words instantly silenced the noisy banquet hall. The smile on Lily Shu's face froze. She immediately screamed at me. Xiangzhe, are you insane? Who do you think you are? If you can't afford a decent gift, don't come. Now you're ruining my wedding? What's wrong with you? My mother-in-law Zhang Qin rushed onto the stage too. You ungrateful bastard, you don't know what's good for you. My oldest daughter was blind to marry you. The groom and his parents were stunned, their faces filled with embarrassment. This whole scene had gone far beyond anything they'd expected. I completely ignored my mother-in-law's tantrum and spoke to the MC. Please ask the hotel's manager Wang to come up here. Manager Wang quickly arrived, wearing a professional smile. Mr. Zhang, what can I do for you? I raised the mic and asked him. Manager Wang, I have a question. Today's reception has 180 tables. The total cost is exactly 1 million. Who paid for it? Beads of sweat formed on Manager Wang's forehead as he stammered. You did, Mr. Jiangzhe. You paid the full amount. The moment he said that, the entire room erupted. All the gossip instantly shifted from me to Lily Shu and her family. Oh my god! Her brother-in-law paid the entire $1 million reception, and she still complained about his 100 grand gift? Is this family insane? Exactly. No wonder they were acting so arrogant. Of course they don't care. They're spending someone else's money. All the color instantly drained from Lily Shu's face. My wife, Mandy Shu, stared at me in disbelief. Then she looked at her parents and sister, her eyes filled with panic and confusion. I picked up a glass of red wine. Then I sneered at the pale-faced Lily Shu. Dear sister-in-law, I gave you a $1 million reception, yet my 100 grand wedding gift still wasn't enough? Go ahead. Tell everyone what a generous brother-in-law should give. Lily Shu swayed on her feet as if she might collapse. Just then, my mother-in-law dropped to the floor with a thud. She began pounding the floor with both hands. I can't live like this. That heartless monster. We only borrowed the money from our son-in-law temporarily. We were going to pay him back after collecting the wedding gifts. I can't believe he'd humiliate us in front of all our friends and relatives. Her mother's words snapped Lily Shu back to her senses. She pretended to cry and threw herself into the groom's arms. Honey, you have to believe me. My family isn't like that. My brother-in-law came here to ruin everything on purpose. We told him we were borrowing the $1 million. We were going to pay him back. Mandy Shu finally recovered from the shock. She ran over and grabbed my arm. Jiangzhe, I'm begging you. Look at what you've done to my mom. She's getting old. She can't handle this kind of stress. Lily was out of line. Be the bigger person and let it go, okay? We can talk about this when we get home. Please stop making a scene in front of everyone. Talk about it at home? Absolutely not. Didn't they just claim they borrowed the money from me? Well, I have a recording. It's time everyone saw their true colors. I spoke into the mic, my voice cold and clear. Sound guy, connect my phone to the speakers through Bluetooth. Since I was publicly called a cheap brother-in-law today, everyone deserves to hear the truth. Lily Shu screamed and lunged at me again. Jiangzhe, what are you doing? Give me your phone. I was ready for her and easily stepped aside. She missed me and crashed awkwardly to the floor. Moments later, a recording echoed throughout the banquet hall. It was Lily Shu's voice, full of tears and desperation. Please, brother-in-law, I'm begging you. You have to help me. My dad owes a mountain of debt. We can't even afford my wedding reception. The groom's family keeps pressuring us. They said if the reception isn't impressive, we're disrespecting them, and then the wedding is off. Sis, I can't lose him. I really can't. Brother-in-law, I know how much you care about my sister and me. Help me this once and I'll remember your kindness forever. As long as you cover the $1 million, you can give just 10 grand at the wedding. We just need to make the wedding look impressive. We can't let the groom's family look down on us. Lily Shu finally cracked under the humiliation and pressure. Then she pretended to faint. My mother-in-law Zhang Qin wailed dramatically. Lily, my daughter! Call an ambulance. Call an ambulance. But no matter how hard they acted, the recording made their performance look pathetic and ridiculous. I watched it all coldly. Then I turned to my wife, Shuman. Do you still think Lily was just being immature? That was when the groom's family finally snapped. The groom's mother stepped forward and told my mother-in-law, "This wedding is off!" My father-in-law, Xu Jiangguo, jerked his head up. What do you mean by that? Look at what happened to our Lily. What happened to her? Does she look pitiful pretending to faint? Or should we admire her talent for scamming people? You even scammed your son-in-law to pay for this wedding. So were you planning to pocket our entire 888,000 yuan bride price too? We wanted our son to marry a kind, respectable woman, not bring home some living saint who scams people for a living. And we want nothing to do with a family that lies through its teeth. The groom finally exploded in shock and rage. He yelled at Shu Li, who was sitting on the floor. Shu Li, you were after my family's money from the start, weren't you? You said your family was well off. That was all a lie, wasn't it? No, I never lied to you. Enough. We may not be filthy rich, but we're still a respected family in this city. We won't take this humiliation. The wedding's off. You'll return every penny of the bride price. And every piece of gold jewelry we bought you. Nothing can be missing. Why? My daughter has already been with your son. You can't just call it off. We can because your whole family is full of scammers. Refuse to return it and we'll see you in court. Let's see whether the judge believes your tears or Mr. Zhang's recording. I stood at the edge of the stage, watching it all unfold coldly. I wanted everyone to see this family's true ugly faces. My wife, Shuman, stood helplessly between the two arguing families. She finally broke down, covered her head, and started sobbing. I was about to leave that disgusting stage, but Shuman suddenly blocked me and screamed, "Jiangzhe, are you happy now? Do you really have to destroy them? Do you really have to take it this far? Even if my family was wrong, even if Lily spoke without thinking, couldn't you handle it privately? Couldn't you show them a little mercy for my sake? Why did you have to expose everything in front of all these people? You ruined Lily! You ruined her whole life! Don't you understand?" I looked at her with a cold smirk. "So your family deserves dignity and respect. What about me? Do I deserve to be walked all over by your family? Jiangzhe, she's my only sister. Money can always be earned again, but if her marriage is ruined, she'll have nothing. Why can't you understand that? Wow, money can always be earned again. Then go earn it yourself. Let's see how good you are at making money." I lived on cold bread and worked at my computer day and night. I earned every penny with every single line of code I wrote. What gives you the right to say I can just earn it back? I picked up the microphone again and addressed the guests. "Sorry you all had to witness this. Today's meal is on me. Eat and drink as much as you like. Consider it the closing banquet for this whole circus." My words drew a round of applause. They weren't applauding the drama. They were cheering my decisive comeback. I turned to Manager Wang, who was equally stunned. "Manager Wang, please have someone escort both families out." Manager Wang nodded and immediately called over several security guards. The Xu family and the groom's family were escorted out of the banquet hall. Before leaving, my mother-in-law still shouted, "Jiangzhe, you animal! I hope you die horribly." The banquet hall fell eerily silent for a few seconds. Then thunderous applause broke out. Without looking back, I walked through the crowd. I strode out of the place I had once looked forward to but now completely despised. Outside, I got into the driver's seat of my Range Rover and pulled out my phone. I dialed a number I'd saved long ago, a number I had always hoped I'd never need. "Hello, Attorney Zhao? I need you to prepare some documents for me. Divorce papers and a full debt settlement." After hanging up, I headed home. Soon after, a private investigator's report landed in my inbox. The report was even more disgusting and horrifying than I imagined. 2 years ago, my father-in-law, Xu Jiangguo, got hooked on online gambling. My sister-in-law, Xu Li, got sucked into it too. Together, they had racked up millions in gambling debt. Xu Li only got married to scam someone out of the bride price and cover her debts. I always thought the money I gave them was meant to preserve our family bond. Turns out I was just keeping 2 gambling addicts alive. My wife had known the truth all along. She had even helped them keep up the act for years. The doorbell snapped me out of my thoughts. Through the peephole, I saw Shuman standing outside with swollen red eyes. The second she came in, she threw herself into my arms and burst into tears. "Jiangzhe, I'm sorry. I didn't know things would turn out like this. Please forgive me, okay? I'll never let my family bother you again. I'll cut them off completely. Can we please just live our life together?" I shoved her away and pointed at the computer screen. "Take a look for yourself." Shuman walked over to the computer. The moment she saw the investigation report, all the color drained from her face. She kept repeating, "I didn't know, I swear I didn't know." She trembled under my stare. Her eyes darted around, refusing to meet mine. Her reaction had already given me my answer. I pulled a ledger from the drawer and slammed it onto the coffee table. Shuman opened it with trembling hands. It was packed with transfer records. Every entry was money I'd given her family since we got married. The total was over 2 million. My voice shook in a way even I hadn't noticed. I thought that once I married you, you became my family. I thought I was helping you carry some of your family's burden, so you could have an easier life. Now I realized I wasn't helping at all. I was just endlessly feeding money to a family of leeches. Shuman dropped to her knees. She clung to my leg, sobbing so hard she could barely breathe. "Jiangzhe, I was wrong. I was really wrong. I love you, Jiangzhe. I can't live without you." I looked at her, and the last bit of warmth in my heart disappeared. Then I calmly revealed a cruel truth. I didn't give your family all that money because I was stupid, and I wasn't willingly letting you scam me either. I wanted to see if your family would ever know when to stop. I wanted to see if you'd ever show any gratitude. And there was one more thing. When your sister humiliated me at the wedding, I wanted to see if you'd stand by me. Just once, but you let me down. I pulled out the documents Attorney Zhao had prepared. Then I placed them in front of her. "Now, I'm giving you 2 choices. One is a divorce agreement. The other is a property settlement. First, sign it. We each keep the assets we owned before marriage. Our shared assets include this house, 2 cars, and some savings. The house is worth 10 million, with 4 million left on the mortgage. I can cash out my half and give it to you, or I can buy out your half. We each take 1 car and split the savings. That's more than fair." Shuman stared at the divorce agreement in black and white. Her whole body shook like a leaf in the wind. "No, Jiangzhe, please, I don't want a divorce," she cried and shook her head. She desperately reached for my hand, but I stepped aside. "Then choose the second option." I picked up her phone and pulled up her father's number. "Call your father right now in front of me. Tell him that starting today, they won't get another cent from either of us. And demand that they pay everything back within a month. Every last cent I ever loaned them." Shuman held the cold phone like it was a red-hot branding iron. She stared at the word Dad on the screen. Tears streamed down her face like broken pearls. Her finger hovered over the call button, but she couldn't bring herself to press it. I shook my head in disappointment. I felt nothing anymore. I turned and walked toward the door. You have 3 days to decide. In 3 days, you need to make your choice. Otherwise, Attorney Zhao will file for divorce in court. Shu Man was still collapsed on the floor, her crying reduced to muffled sobs. She didn't try to stop me, because she knew there was no saving us now. For the next 3 days, I buried myself in work. That afternoon, my phone suddenly rang. It was an unknown number. I hesitated, then answered. A cautious, pleading voice came through the phone. Xiangzhe, it's Shu Li. I'm sorry, I was wrong. I really was. I shouldn't have said those things at the wedding. I'm a horrible person. I completely lost my mind. I was jealous my sister married so well. Please forgive me just this once, okay? Haochen and I called off the wedding. His family took back the bride price. Now everyone's laughing at me. I'm too embarrassed to go outside. And the loan sharks come by every day. They even splashed red paint on our walls. We can barely live there anymore. I stayed silent and kept listening. We know we were wrong. My whole family knows it. We're downstairs at your hotel right now. Can you come down and see us? We'll kneel and apologize in person. A mocking smile tugged at my lips. Forget the kneeling and apologizing. You should have thought of that before. Please, just see us once. My sister hasn't eaten or drunk anything for 2 days. She can't live without you! I hung up, done listening to her nonsense. Half an hour later, my assistant knocked on my office door. Mr. Zhang, some people downstairs are asking for you. I calmly replied. Send them up. I wanted to see what kind of show they'd put on. Soon my office door opened. They all dropped to their knees before me. My proud father-in-law, Xu Jiangguo, was sobbing. As he spoke, he slapped himself hard. Jiangzhe, I was wrong. I'm a terrible father. I'm sorry. My mother-in-law, Zhang Qin, cried out. Our family wronged you? We're all nothing but bloodsuckers. For Xiaoman's sake, please help us one last time. Xu Li kept banging her head on the floor. Jiangzhe, I was wrong. I have a filthy mouth. I'm shameless. Just forget I ever said anything. Please save our family. I stared at them without emotion. For money, they threw away their dignity so easily. Finally, Shu Man spoke. Jiangzhe, look, they know they were wrong. My parents and Lily are all kneeling before you. They truly regret it. Can we help them one more time? Just this once. We'll pay off the loan sharks. I swear I'll cut them off completely. We'll move, change numbers, and start over somewhere new. We'll never contact them again, okay? Her words destroyed the last bit of hope I had for her. Cutting them off was only a temporary excuse. Once things settled down, they'd get in trouble again, and she'd carve me up again to save her family. I pulled out my phone in front of them. I called Attorney Zhao. Hello, Attorney Zhao. You can file the divorce agreement. Also, prepare the lawsuit. I want back every cent Xu Jiangguo borrowed over 5 years. I have the transfer records and signed IOUs. I'll send them over shortly. Understood, Mr. Zhang. I'll handle it immediately. The Xu family froze on their knees. Their grief and regret instantly turned to shock. They never saw this coming. They had sacrificed all their dignity to beg. But instead of mercy, they got the full force of the law. Xu Man reacted first and screamed, Jiangzhe, you can't do this. I replied coldly. That's exactly what I'm doing. I earned that money, and I have every right to take it back. I was done looking at them and turned toward my desk. I hope your whole family stays together. I left them with those cold words and never looked back. Behind me, Shu Man screamed and sobbed. Her parents cursed me in rage. Xu Li spat vicious curses too. I pulled out my phone and called security. Come up and remove these unwanted guests. Soon the office door closed. Their awful voices disappeared completely. I sat down and let out a long breath. A sense of freedom unlike anything before washed over me. From that moment on, my life finally began again.